What's up?
Have you ever heard of microtransactions?
Are we doing another Bitcoin type thing?
No.
Microtransactions?
Yeah.
Is this a money laundering thing?
No. I'm kind of surprised you don't know what this is.
I do know what it is. Hold on. Let me get here. Hold on. Microtransactions? Go ahead.
So microtransactions, they're
Is this like whenever the bank does like 1 cent out of your account to verify the account? Is this like whenever someone's not racist, but they're saying slightly racist things, and it's like that's like a microtransaction?
Microtransgression.
You're right. About a cool cape. Didn't do anything. Not that I have.
Not that I've ever done. I've never done that.
I don't use your Patreon money for that.
The gaming community erupted. They thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. They made fun of it so much, but it sold great.
We've got them so hooked, we let them run our social media.
About $250,000, less than $250,000.
Things I learned last night. Actually, this show's called Tim's Make Stuffs Up.
No, microtransaction is a business model where users in the digital world purchase virtual goods using micro payments. And so,
like credit.
What?
Like credit?
I don't know what you mean by credit.
Micro payments.
Kinda. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm just gonna say kinda. I'm just gonna go with you're kinda right.
I'm not sure what you mean by. Just start over.
So what the system is it's a way to squeeze more money out of people in apps and digital.
Oh, are you talking about like when you get somebody to spend 99 cents instead of trying to get them to buy a $100 thing? You're getting them to buy something for 99 cents
100 times.
100 times.
Yeah, and it's all within apps and mostly gaming right now, but it's starting to spread into some other things.
And they get microphones in return?
Yeah. If you buy enough microtransactions.
I thought we were talking about how a firm, it's very weird to me whenever I go to buy something for like $12 and it's like, or 4 payments of $3. And you're like, I mean, I guess that would be helpful, 0%, $3 a month for some cat food.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff, man. Anyways.
So you were talking about how like Starbucks, for example, gets me to reload my card once a week.
It's a very similar concept. There's some overlap there. Technically different, but a very similar concept, which we will touch on. Let's look at the history, because here's the thing. I think this is a problematic trend that we're on. And I do think that depending on how things play out with legislation over the next few years, I do think this is an issue that honestly could ruin the viability of the metaverse, depending on how the coin lands.
Interesting.
So let's turn the clocks back to the 1980s, the heyday of home gaming systems. And by heyday, I mean the very beginning.
Of home gaming systems?
Home gaming systems. You got your Atari, your NES, and your Segas. People are hyped, right?
I had a Sega. Did you have a Sega growing up?
I didn't have one growing up. I got one when I was 23. It was an impulse buy.
You were still growing then.
It was... I'm about to hit my 24th year growth spurt. Everybody knows
what is that 24th stuff they say about like when,
your brain's developing until 25. My dad said it to me all the time until I turned 25.
But like it's only for guys, right? Isn't it girls' brains?
Yeah, they develop
done
faster.
earlier.
Yeah,
mine's still going.
Yeah, they develop in middle school. Their brains.
I turned 28. When do I turn 28, Tim?
I don't know. Let me check my calendar. Last week, February 23rd.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, I know now. I learned 2
That
seasons
was a microaggression right there.
I learned 2 seasons ago that this matters to you a lot more than I thought it did or should.
All right. So Sega, Atari.
Yeah, so it's the heyday of home gaming systems.
Right.
Pretty quickly, this industry started to realize they have the same problem that the film industry has, and that's that they invest tons of money into this product for thousands of hours.
Right.
And then they release the product and they have this faucet open up of funding that comes in, just tons of income. And then the faucet slowly closes and they trickle in a little bit of cash for a little while until eventually it stops and they have to put something
Is
else out.
microtransactions how Adobe charges me $53 a month?
Actually, yeah, kind of.
Because it's like how they realized that subscriptions are a microtransaction?
No, I mean, it's in that direction.
Okay, I'll let you
It's not
keep
quite
going.
there yet. It's not quite there yet.
I'm curious what you're defining as a microtransaction.
It's not what I'm defining as. It's what it is. Like this show isn't just Tim makes stuff up. This show.
Yeah, I know that would be a bad title.
Things Tim made up last night.
TMSU. Guys, thanks for listening to Tozu.
Somebody in the Tartaria comment this morning. I don't know if you saw this. Somebody in Tartaria.
Oh, they were like, it looks like you just learned this stuff last night, and you're like,
well, no, that was a couple days ago. Somebody else.
It's kind of the show.
It's kind of the joke, man. No, this guy was like, another guy commented something very similar, basically saying like, yeah, it shows that you learned this last night. You should spend some more time and do your research so that way we can tell that you know what you're talking about. And I said,
things on last night.
I said, do you know what you're watching?
Actually, this show's called Tim's Make Stuffs Up, so it doesn't even matter.
This show is a joke. Anyway, pretty quickly companies were like, this revenue system.
Yeah.
It's really risky because if you spend those thousands of hours investing into developing a game
and it doesn't
sell, then now you have to spend thousands of hours to try to make a new game to release and hope that sells.
And hope you recoup the money for both.
For both, yeah. So it got really risky really quick. So pretty quickly, expansion packs became a thing. Now we call them DLC because you download them, that downloadable content. But in that era, you couldn't download because the internet wasn't popular yet.
Right.
So they were actual expansion packs. You would actually go get a game cartridge or a disc and bring it, and it would be your game plus some extra stuff that wasn't in the game originally. So new maps, new missions, whatever, some new armor or weapons, just a handful of new stuff to make it a little more interesting. Significantly cheaper than the base game. The base game was $60. This is $20, $15, $20, right? And so this is much quicker to develop for the game developer, so they can kind of squeeze a little bit more out of each title. So they can have a smaller team after a game releases, continue to release these expansion packs for years while they're releasing the next title. So they can kind of have that stream continue to run for a little bit. But even still, there was a lot of hours that had to go in to that game, and it was a gamble because you don't know if people are going to buy that expansion pack if they'd be interested.
Am I making a game up in my head right now?
What?
Did Burger King...
Yeah, and it was freaking awesome.
Okay.
It was honestly
nothing more.
I would go as far as to say
I loved that game.
I'm gonna be honest.
You raced on those little tiny motorcycles.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. The Xbox 360, I can think of maybe 5 or 6 games that were better than those Burger King games on the whole generation. They came out the second Xbox 360 came out.
Wait, was there
Burger King's
multiple
games,
Burger King games?
Yeah, they had 3. So they had Sneak King.
Wait. Can we? Are we about to become Twitch streamers? Are we about to Twitch?
Yeah. So they had hold on, let me see. They actually had. I think there was more than. Oh yeah, there was 3. I had all of them. They had Pocket Bike Racer. And they had Sneak King.
That's what I had. I did not have Sneak King.
Yeah, Sneak King. You just snuck around and scared people as the king.
All I had was the Pocket Racer one.
That was very good. And then there was Big Bumpin', which was like kind of like a Mario Kart type game. So they had 2 racing games. And the only games I can think of that I would say are better are probably Halo 3, Skyrim, GTA 5, not 4. They're better than everything else.
For real, the Pocket Racer was so
fun.
Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to start having some live events for our Patreon supporters. Where we just get together in Zoom and maybe like do some, interactive stuff. I think that we have to figure out.
Yeah, we'll get our hands on them and we'll play them on there.
But not even for like, I want, if you are listening, we're going to post this on our Discord too, but like we got to figure out how to play those on. Could you play those online?
I think so. I think they had online. Yeah, we'll race
Goodness.
you. We'll race you.
I missed. Okay, anyway, now I'm just sitting in the nostalgia of it.
So those were different. They weren't expansion packs. They were just small games. Over time, this new thing came out called microtransactions. And these were popular in PC games. The first one to really do it was an arcade game in the 90s called Double Dragon 3, the Rosetta Stone. So
there's no 1 or 2.
They jump straight to 3.
And double.
And so in the game, what they did is you would put your quarter in, play the game, and throughout the game, there would be bonus things that would happen that you could put another quarter in to get that bonus item or to do this extra thing.
Right.
People hated it. People were super mad.
Yeah. Like, I can't get the thing without an extra quarter.
Yeah. I'm going to have to spend more to get this thing. So
it's like when you play Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite. It's like the is it skins?
Yeah, they call them skins. Yeah.
That's a microtransaction.
That's a microtransaction.
This is what I was trying to explain at the beginning of this episode, and you acted like I was an idiot.
You never mentioned anything about Fortnite or skins. You said credit. This is like credit? Like a credit score?
I was trying to think of that. I was trying to
V-Bucks. They call them V-Bucks.
Whatever.
Anyways, let's continue with the history.
Okay.
So they did
Double Dragon 3.
Double Dragon did this. Everybody hated it. Just finding a way to squeeze a little bit more cash out of people while they played. A few online games started doing these as well, where you could spend a little extra on the online game in the early 2000s. Maple Story was probably the biggest one to do this.
Okay.
Spend a couple bucks on things to get extra stuff within the game.
I feel bad for throwing our Patreon stuff in a second ago then.
Why?
You can enjoy this episode. Or if you just give us a quarter.
If you give us a quarter, you get special armor.
You can watch us pocket race the Burger King game. Would you like to watch us scare some kids dressed as the Burger King? We're not talking about the video game. We're talking about a manhole cover where Tim grew up. All right? And we're going to uncover it, and it's just the Burger King.
Todd, it's me, Burger King.
Dude, the King is scary. I'm glad that they made a game of that because the King is terrifying. He's scary looking.
That is so funny.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So these online games things existed, but really the first big kind of public thing where this happened was the prequel to Skyrim, Oblivion. So Elder Scrolls 4, I shouldn't say prequel. It was the 4th in the series. Oblivion.
Okay.
They had done a few DLC packs. So expansion packs had been a thing all through this period. DLC came out because you could now download it. But they gave it a shot. And so what they did is they released this golden armor you could get for your horse. It wasn't even for you. It was for your horse. It was like $5. And it was weird because it didn't do anything. Like it didn't protect the horse. It just looked
It's like that app on your iPhone. When iPhones first came out, the I'm Rich app.
Yeah. Same concept.
$1,000, well, $999.
Pretty much the same concept. So $5 to get your little gold armor for your horse. The gaming community erupted. They thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. They made fun of it so much, but it sold great.
Yeah, I don't care if people hate us. Yeah, they were just sitting there counting. They're like, oh yeah, people hate the gold horse stuff.
Yeah, they're super against it. I think what happened was everybody thought it was super dumb, but it was $5. So everyone's like, well, I got to see it for myself.
I want to see how it looks on my horse.
Check it out on my horse.
I can see how it looks on everyone else's horse, but I want to see how it looks on my horse.
And so it sold really well. And so
that's so stupid. I want it.
So Bethesda, the game developers, were like, yeah, file that away. Like, store that for a little bit. Like, we're going to need that. And so this is 2006, right before the iPhone comes out.
Right.
iPhone comes out, and mobile games become a thing. Game developing companies are like, hey, we should make some mobile games, but they know right off the bat that nobody's going to pay $60 to play a game on their phone.
Right.
They might for a console, but they won't for their phone. And so they're like, well, we got to make them super cheap, a couple bucks, and we'd have to sell an insane amount to make it worth it. Or we could make it free and throw in some microtransactions. And so that was
This is what I was trying to explain earlier. This is I'm serious. This is what I had in my head. Maybe my mouth wasn't
is this credit?
No, that's not what I meant. This, well, whenever I was trying to explain and you said no, I was like, oh, I guess it's not that.
Well, you said a lot of things that weren't even close to this.
Well,
so
this is what I meant. I meant like, yeah, like whenever you're, see, my brain's not doing it. You know what I just happened? I was trying to speak and then my brain was like, 99-cent upcharge. And I was like, well, that sucks.
I'll have 99 cents.
It's like when you go to Subway.
Yeah.
And you're like, can I have bacon? And they're like, that's part of the expansion pack? And you're like, all right, I guess I'll pay for it.
Yeah, you got to buy the...
free app, but you could do it without ads for 99 cents.
Yeah. So there's that concept. But
that's still a subscription thing. You could do it... you know what sucks with a microtransaction? Is where you have to upgrade to beat the next level. Like I used to play a golf game on my phone.
Yeah.
Not a golf game. I don't want people to think I'm like, playing PGA golf, like a mini golf game on my phone, I want to be clear.
I don't want people to think.
I don't want people to think that like I'm, like the golf game that like a 50-year-old dude plays.
Yeah. With the arcade with the ball. That
right. He's at home while his 2 teenage daughters are on dates with guys who drive lowered Honda Civics and they hate him, and he's just sitting on the couch at night, hasn't talked to his wife in 13 years, right? He's playing his golf game while PGA is on the TV. Yeah. I am not playing that kind of golf game.
He's like, I'm putting.
But yeah, in this game, you have to upgrade your putter. And at a certain point, the game is impossible to beat without an upgrade.
Yeah, so these games have earned the moniker freemium or free to play, pay to win.
Yes.
So that's the concept.
Like credit.
It really, if you think about it, it's just like real life.
Life. Right? Free to play.
Yeah.
Pay to win.
Pay to win. So same concept as being alive.
It's pretty similar concept to, just life itself.
So what's interesting, though, is when you look at these developers, their business model, their strategy,
how much did the beer guy make? The app on your phone? Remember that?
Let's look it up.
You turn it and it looked like you were pouring a beer or drinking a beer.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, I saw an article about it the other day, but I don't remember the number from it. But it was a lot.
Let's see. It made him $20,000 a day in its heyday.
That's what it was, yeah. Because I was like, there's no way it made $20,000 total. He was making $20K a day.
Yeah. So I don't know how much he ended up making off of it, but yeah, a lot of people bought that.
Nowhere near as much as I make.
Anyways.
Did you know I looked up my net worth?
On one of those net worth checkers?
Yeah. The internet thinks I'm worth $750,000.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, it sucks because I put $1 million, right? And it means somebody fact checked that and made it less.
They're like, it's got to be at least $250,000 less than that. Joke's on them.
Yeah.
It's about $250,000 less than $250,000.
It's actually about $260,000 less than $250,000. So it's in the negatives, baby.
These games, Clash of Clans is one of the biggest.
Every transaction in my account is a microtransaction.
In golf, you're buying putters, but not like PGA golf.
But not that. No,
not that
I don't want you to think.
I don't want you to think that I'm spending my money on that.
So these app developers are making. They're like, okay, we can make this free.
Their strategy is really.
Walk me through like
smart.
one app.
It's kind of smart. So Clash of Clans is one of the biggest. I don't know if I should say offenders.
Angry Birds is like this too, though?
Angry Birds is like this. Yeah. And so their model, the way they do this, is they have...
Clash of Clans started when iPhone came out?
I don't think they started when iPhone came out. A couple years after, though. Wow. They were around
Angry Birds has been around for a long time.
Same. They've both been here for a long time.
Bro, those birds need counseling, dude. They're still mad. You know what's crazy?
You think by now...
I know there's a lot of tangents. If you're listening, I apologize. But I'm saying what's crazy to me is that there was a new commercial that came out last year that had birds hitting a house.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was like, that reference is still relevant.
And here's why. So their model, the way they do it, is they have, there's not a word for this, let's call them pedestrian players.
Okay.
And then they've got words for this next 3 levels. So there's the small fish, big fish, and the whales. And so the concept, the pedestrian players are the people who come in, they will not spend any money in the game. They will just be there, play for free. Yes. The small fish are the people who, over the lifetime, they'll buy a couple things, spend a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, but over the lifetime, their value is
we're going.
10, 15, 20 bucks.
That's who I am
total.
on that golf game.
Yeah, you bought a couple putters. The big fish are people who will spend a consistent amount of money on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
$20, $30, $40, $50 a month are their big fish.
No
regularly
way.
dropping some cash in
On
here.
Clash of Clans, someone's dropping $50 a month.
The whales are the people who are dropping tens of thousands of dollars a month.
Shut up. A month?
A month.
A month. There
Listen
are
to this.
people out here dropping tens of thousands of dollars on Clash of Clans.
There was a report in 2018, a Saudi oil baron's son. Why is that funny to you?
Because I'm imagining that you start an app called Clash of Clans, and then suddenly you've got the Saudi prince by the throat, dude. You've got him, like you're just siphoning tens of thousands of dollars. How much do you spend a month?
In the 2018 report, it came out and
Of just this guy's account?
yeah, he said he spent an estimated over the past 5 years $1 million in Clash of Clans microtransactions over the past 5 years. These are
1,500 days.
this is what
Now, if you had 1,500 days to spend $1 million, how many nights would you do in jail? Over $1 million. Okay, let's let's do the math on that real quick though.
Yeah.
Let's say it's $1.5 million.
Yeah, okay.
Over 5 years, that's 1,500 days. That's averaging $1,000 a day. Am I wrong?
Yeah, let's check this.
Am I crazy on this? This checks out, right? You're averaging $1,000 a day, and you're probably not doing that every day, right?
No.
There's no way.
So that's what these developers like Clash of Clans, they are playing, and it's pretty smart when you think about it.
They gotta know that guy's name,
they're
right?
small
Like in the
fish.
Clash of Clans office, in the Clash of clan, right? They're sitting there in HQ.
Baron, son of the oil baron.
Like they've got to be like, oh yeah, how much did he spend today?
So companies like Clash of Clans, they have these, they call them whales.
Do they have more?
They have a handful of these people that are playing the game.
Do they have more than one game, or is it just like these companies doing this?
Well,
one game?
yeah, they've got tons of
Sure,
games.
but let's go one.
So for each of their games,
got a handful
they know
of
they've got a
whales.
handful of whales, a dozen at most.
And they're developing the app for the whales at that point.
yeah, it's all for the whales. And so for them,
It's always for the whales.
the small fish,
It's always been for the whales.
the small fish don't matter at all. They don't care that they're spending money. And even the big fish, most of the big fish, they don't really care much about. That's just kind of floating them a little bit.
They're just doing it for
But
the
the
whales.
pedestrians, they care a lot about. The game is for the whales and the pedestrians. And here's why.
That's interesting.
Here's why. Because the whales, they are pouring a ton of money into this game so that way they can be better than everybody else in the game.
If there's no one else there,
Well, they want a lot of bad players in the game. So they want all these free pedestrians to be people that the whales can just stomp. And so they're matching the whales with these pedestrians. They're not putting them with the other decently good players.
and then they get my little competitiveness
Yeah,
in here.
they're
And I'm hitting second place every time. And I'm like, I need a better putter.
and you start. To
I'm
work your way
mad,
up the
dude. I'm
ladder.
at the store. I'm just like, I gotta buy a freaking putter. You know?
And so they're giving the pedestrians a disadvantage. So it's most likely scenario is the whale is going to beat them, feed their ego, and spend more money. So that way they can continue to stay better.
So basically, you got your whale,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got just pedestrians who are your little feeder fish,
Yeah.
and you are just
Throwing them
like
to the whale.
crickets to a lizard.
Yep.
You've got a lizard.
Yeah.
There's an analogy that works for you, right?
No, we don't feed it crickets.
What do you feed it?
Worms.
That's worse. So pedestrians are just worms?
Yeah, sure.
You heard it here, folks. Tim thinks you're worms. So I got you to say it. So they're just feeding it to it, and then the whales win.
The whales win.
More money.
And here's what they do. If the whales
don't win, they have to spend money to win.
If the whales stop spending their money, they start matching them with better players, so they start losing. So they start spending some more money, and when they spend money, they start matching with pedestrians again, so they can start winning more.
Okay, but imagine there's a recovery group of people who are addicted to spending money on Clash of Clans, right? Imagine you've sunk so much money into Clash of Clans that you're then a gardener outside of Bank of America, right? Plotting to rob a bank because
to fund your clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty close.
And see Britney Spears live.
But dying to see her. So these people who are the whales, and this is happens every game that has this model. They have a handful of these whales, and these people sometimes are from very
what if
wealthy.
They're the same people.
That's doubtful, but it could be.
This sucks that there's rich enough people out there.
Well, here's the thing: most of those people
that are spending my rent every day on Clash of Clans.
Most of those people, there's two scenarios. The whales are either very wealthy individuals who can just throw money around, or two, people who...
Would you like to for 99 cents, you can get a putter, or 12 payments?
Kind of, though. They're people who are
deeply
easily manipulated, and they go into very, very, very deep debt to fund this game habit. And
that's what I'm saying. What if you're destroying your life to beat a Saudi prince and Angry Birds?
Yeah. And what's interesting about it is
what if there's somebody out there who's got 4 jobs, right?
Yeah.
And like they're just tired, like their eyes are sunken in, they're exhausted, and you're just like, you should take a break. And he's like, well, in my downtime, I played Temple Run. Like bro, people haven't played Temple Run in 12 years, man. He's like, has it been 12 years? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's people who are...
Yeah. And so these companies, their whole thing is they want to either keep you a pedestrian or move you to a whale as quickly as possible. And so the second you get on that track, they are trying to grow you up to that whale point.
Do they build an algorithm that does that, or is there somebody evil in an office who's like,
we're going to make you a whale? It's an algorithm.
I'm going to fatten you up, boy.
So it either pushes you to be a whale or pushes you back down to pedestrian level. That's what they want. Which is, it's clever.
Well,
pretty rough.
That golf game that I play, right? I'm just too good to be a pedestrian. Let's be honest, right? I'm saying I'm crushing people. I'm just like, oh, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just too good at this.
Yep. And so now you're...
But there always is somebody in there. And I've been thinking, this guy's on steroids. And there's like this group of people at the top who are just always...
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal with that. There has been some scandals, and this hasn't been proven, but there's been some scandals that, remember the dead internet theory?
Yeah.
That some of these opponents that they're matching the whales with...
Bots.
They're bots that are going to win.
Yeah.
And so they're matching you with people that you're definitely going to win or definitely going to lose against. And they're like, hey, these are people...
And they're scamming you into thinking...
You're playing real...
So you're playing CPU,
mm-hmm.
and then...
they're passing them off as real human players that you're either better than, or worse than...
Depending on where they're trying to move
what they need. Yeah. So it's clever, very messed up.
So what you're saying is there could be one user in Clash of Clans. Have you ever met somebody who plays Clash of Clans?
It's just the prince.
I've never seen the game interface. The only time I've seen the game interface is like ads.
When you were in high school, you didn't see it?
No.
It was super popular when we were in high school.
Was it?
I played it. Like everybody in my class played it. For at least a minute. Like we were all pedestrians.
And that was in 2010.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that guy was spending $1 million
a few years later.
In 2018?
Yeah. I had a couple friends near the end of college I knew that still played it. But just occasionally,
The only thing I really played for a while was was it called Outbreak? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What that is, no.
You know where you would choose the symptoms of the virus. The goal was to infect the world. What was that called?
I'm pretty sure it was called Pandemic.
Oh yeah, it might have been. That's rough now.
So anyways, that's one side of microtransactions.
Okay.
And the console gaming world,
we got to
your Xbox, your PlayStation,
do that, man.
your Xbox, your PlayStation and your PC.
Hey, be quiet for a second.
AAA gaming.
To continue this episode, please deposit 25 cents. Shh.
We know what you're thinking.
Sure.
Hold on. We know what you're thinking. You can drop it right into your micro USB port on your phone. Just slide it in. It'll shrink.
It's a micro quarter. Trust us.
Give us your micro quarters.
There's only one person who listens to our podcast. Everyone else is CPU. All right? We've got a whale on the hook.
We're the
man.
whales.
Oof. We've got them so hooked we let them run our social media.
The other side. The other side of microtransactions, console gaming wants to do this. The AAA game developers, they want to do this because it makes you way more money, but they can't because console gamers won't.
They're more into it. Like they're
mobile gamers and console gamers are a different breed. They're two different types of people.
Well, because you don't really have a pedestrian console gamer. You're making a $multi-$100 investment on a console.
It's true. Yeah, and all console games. Well, I mean, up until recently, all console games were $60 purchases.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the price has never gone up.
Oh, are you saying that with like the Xbox subscription or whatever, there's games that are doing it more now?
Well, what they're doing now is...
What's that called?
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah, so they got Game Pass, which is like a subscription service. They have season passes that they do, which is more like a subscription service. It's starting to kind of teeter that line. But console gamers aren't going to do the play-to-win stuff. They hate that. Then any game who's tried that on console has gotten just obliterated by the gaming community, and they're like, we're not playing this. This is dumb. But there has been a new development in console gaming for cosmetics. And so those are skins like you see in Fortnite. Fortnite's probably the most successful game to do this.
I saw them in Among Us. People were buying...
Basically, every AAA game now has some form of cosmetic microtransactions, whether that's new outfits or paint jobs for your vehicle or your weapons or new armor. None of it does anything or affects anything in the game.
Yeah.
But you get to kind of show off this thing that you have. It's like a status symbol in the game. What's interesting?
It's like an NFT.
It is. It's literally an NFT. Kind of, because there can be multiple. But what's interesting about it is it does nothing. It holds no value whatsoever. But surprisingly,
there's a lot of money in it.
The younger generation of gamers is all about it. The older generation gamers hates it.
Right.
But the younger generation gamers will spend, they will get $150 for Christmas. They will spend the entire $150 on skins for Fortnite.
You didn't do any of that in middle school?
No, not for...
I bought gold coins on RuneScape once for Christmas.
Yeah, but that's different. You can use it to do something in the game. Like, this is...
I bought armor.
But your armor served a purpose. It gave you perks in the game.
Well,
these don't do anything.
Did. I bought a cool cape. Didn't do anything. Still have it, I think. If I logged in, I bet it's still there.
I bought a cool cape.
Between 2013 and 2018, I spent $1.4 million in RuneScape GP.
So here's the thing. So the kids will spend a ton of money in this getting these skins, and it's created.
It's a status thing.
It's a status thing, and it's actually created.
Same
this
thing where there's a
thing.
bunch of kids who will buy followers on Instagram.
Yeah. It's become this thing where this new I don't know what to call it, like a bullying term that kids will use against each other is default. They'll call kids default because they don't have a purchased skin. They have a default skin on their character.
Like we used to say noob.
Yeah. They say, hey, you're default. Shut up, default. Because you weren't able to go out there and buy the coolest, newest skin. And they're constantly updating these, adding new skins, adding new characters. So the kids keep coming back to try to get new skins. I shouldn't say kids. It's probably not all kids, but...
it's grown adults.
But mostly kids. People are buying these skins. Well, it made Fortnite very successful. And I don't know if Fortnite was the first to do this, but pretty much every game does this now. They do what's called loot boxes. Have you seen these?
Mm-mm.
So loot boxes, it's a slot machine. Is what it is. They call them loot boxes.
Called a loot box because it's a slot machine that it loops.
It's a box. Well, no, it's loot.
Loot.
Yeah, it's a box. You get a
Loot.
box.
I thought you said loop.
Loop.
And I thought you were literally like it's a slot, like where they inside, and they were like, we can't call this a slot machine.
It's basically the same
Let's
thing.
call it a loop machine.
It's basically the same thing because here's what they do.
You just buy a box?
They have different tiers of boxes, and each box has a set number of items or skins or things that you could get. And then you buy.
It's like whenever you buy the Pokemon cards.
And same concept. And it'll play this music. It'll play this ringing music. And then when it opens, there's all these lights and the sound effects and the explosions. And it's like, here's the item you won.
Well, that's the golf game does that too. Is that it spins and then you win a thing and then you can pay for more spins.
Same thing with
not that I have.
Not that I've ever done. I've never done that.
I don't use your Patreon money for that. If you're watching, you're like, I've invested a lot of money on Patreon. This set should be better. You know? Tim should have a different skin now. It's because I've spent it all on
putters,
mini golf.
So these games, so the loot boxes, and they have different colors that they use for different scenarios. And
scenarios.
and they make you, when you buy it, they make you buy before you spend your money on the loot box. You have to buy V-Bucks or credits or whatever, and that the value, the exchange rate doesn't make any sense, right? Because it's like you're buying $10 in V-Bucks and it's 20,000 V-Bucks, but you spent $10 on it. So that way, when you spend 20,000 V-Bucks, there's a disconnect between how much money you're spending. You're not seeing
how many V-Bucks does $10 get you?
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Starbucks does that, where the drink is $4 or whatever, but you can only add $10.
Yeah, it's the same concept. So
more.
You're getting enough to where you either can buy one item and then are going to have an awkward amount left, so you're going to have to reload it and get more, or which you don't have enough.
Do you know how much businesses make from
so much
gift cards every year from that leftover like dollar or whatever? I mean, it's millions of dollars in just leftover gift cards.
It's the exact same concept. So they're making it to where it's like you have to buy an extra set.
And then Starbucks actually treats that as an asset.
Yeah.
So let's say you have $1.27 left in your account. You can't buy a drink with that, but all that stuff adds up. They've got like,
tons of money in those cards.
Oh my gosh, they like $8 billion sitting around.
So many people forget about their money in the cards too. And then they say, what do they say? Hey, we have this much in assets, so we can borrow more money. Yeah.
Yep. That's bonkers.
Sketchy. So what they do then is there's this disconnect, and what people have noticed is, hey, these are the same sort of schemes that casinos employ. They make you trade your money for chips, and they change the exchange rate, so it's hard to tell.
To keep track of where you're at.
Yeah, and it's hard to it's difficult for your brain to say, oh, this is $1 I'm dropping. Instead, it's a red chip.
Yep.
It's the same concept with your credits. It's the same thing going on with the loot boxes or the crates or whatever game you're looking at, where they're doing all these graphics and different things to make you feel like
it's like a Cracker Barrel where I don't know how many pieces of cornbread I've eaten. They only drop off like 2 at a time.
They just keep.
I pop those like M&Ms. They keep bringing them. By the end of the day, I've eaten 12 pieces of cornbread.
Yeah. They're like, here's 20,000 cornbread.
But if they put 12 down at once,
you wouldn't eat.
I would eat 2.
Yeah.
That's why when I go, I ask for 12 pieces of cornbread.
And they go,
this guy's super wasteful.
At the end of the meal, and like, you asked for 12 and you ate 2.
Yeah, they confront me about it. Yeah. And then they make me eat them all. The other day I was at Cracker Barrel and that server, she made me eat these. She said, you eat those cornbread.
And while she stood next to your table with all the waitresses singing the birthday song.
Yeah.
So everybody had to like watch you.
Yeah, you know what they did? It was those little triangle, little peg thing. They all took a peg and they started poking me with it. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I wanted to control my carb intake. And they were like, you eat them, you whale. You get it?
Yeah. It's like that other night when we were hanging out.
Oh, I'm a whale to Cracker Barrel. I'll tell you what. If they look at my finances, I've spent a lot of money at Cracker Barrel.
It's like the other night when we ordered that takeout and like we all put it on one ticket. And she came out and she was like, "You get a free Sprite for ordering so much food." I was the only one who went in. And she just thought I ordered a ton.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when I was a fat boy, I would order, from Chinese restaurants. When you realize that you've made a mistake is when you get to a takeout place and they've included 2 sets of silverware with your order. That is a rough realization.
Ooh, they assumed.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, thanks for thinking I'm not lonely, but I'm gonna eat all of this. This is me because I'm a whale.
Never forget it. And they're employing all these tactics with these
that are pretty sketchy.
These crates it's the lights, it's the flashing, it's the music, and then when they reveal it, there's like this moment right before you see it where it just gives you this hope that you're gonna get the item you wanted. But the cards are stacked against you, just like a casino. You're not gonna get the
house always wins.
Yeah, every once in a while they're gonna throw you the bone, but most of the time they're gonna give you all the crap that you. But
that's only to keep you playing.
Yeah, they don't give you the crap you want. And they string you along to get you to keep buying these crates. And that's what happens. Kids or any people will buy all these V-Bucks and blow $100, $200, $300 on these crates trying to get this one specific item over and over and over again.
Right.
It's like a slot machine. You're not gonna get it, most likely. And then they end up all upset because they're like, I just spent $300, I didn't get what I wanted. It's a sleazy tactic. And it's starting to become an issue because a couple of things. One, people are realizing that a lot of games, especially games like Fortnite that employ these tactics, are largely children, are the people who are playing.
Targeting kids.
Yeah, and they know they're targeting kids because you can tell by the type of content they're putting out, but you also know just demographically, kids are playing Fortnite. And they're employing these same tactics, and they're hooking these kids and giving them really essentially a gambling addiction to make a lot of money off of them.
Yeah.
And so there's groups of parents and other just like legislators who seem to be in the route to crack down on this sort of microtransaction in gaming. And it looks like there is kind of the subset of all of the above, of the free-to-play, pay-to-win, the cosmetic stuff, the casino-type tactics, where they're saying, hey, we need to do something to regulate this because there's too many kids and just other people who are unknowingly getting sucked into this and getting addicted to just dropping cash in these games. And they're using algorithms against people.
Free the Saudi prince.
That's the concept. And so it does look like legislation is on the horizon that would really limit these studios.
We just got to get the senators to look up from their phones.
To stop buying their...
They're sitting in the Senate hearing about how addicted these games are, and they're just like...
They're playing White House Sim. Like, I was almost president.
Look at my gold horse. Look at my White House.
Check it out. I'm the president. No, you're not. Well, I am in this.
I am in Second Life. Sorry. Okay.
Excuse me. And so here's my thing is if this pulls off, honestly, I think that microtransactions were the foundation that allowed crypto and NFTs to happen because they were a useless thing on the internet that people spent a lot of money on. And NFTs and crypto are a useless thing on the internet that people are spending a lot of money on. Sorry if that offends you, but it's the truth.
No one who trades that stuff has listened this far into this episode. Don't worry.
The metaverse is going to be built on
microtransactions.
Yeah, because you have to. The whole economy of it is going to be buying useless goods. I shouldn't even say goods. Useless digital items.
I mean, look at reality, right? We were joking earlier about how reality is this way, but I mean, think about
it. Kind of is. It kind of is. But even more so now.
Much of the stuff that we spend money on is just to show that we're better than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. But
what they're selling you in commercials, they're just like, if you buy our product, you will be better than everyone. Everyone will envy you.
It's much.
That's
agree.
why I have 4 Peloton bikes. 4. Can't ride them all at once. But I thought, here's one for Monday.
I put one arm
for Tuesday.
I put an arm in one, an arm in the other.
In
my legs.
Yeah, I put them in.
Yeah, in the little pedal things.
Well, your pore is coming out because you've clearly never been close enough to a Peloton bike to know what it looks like. put my arm in a Peloton bike?
No, the pedals. You
Yo,
got your
we can hear how
hands on
poor
the
you are.
pedals. So anyways, I agree. The difference.
Cut it. Cut that right there. We can hear how poor you are. I agree. Clip it.
The difference here is in real life there is some physical
measurable
entity
things
that you can say, okay, maybe that's not worth $12,000.
Sure,
but that's worth money because there's a physical thing.
Yeah,
that work went in. With these, yeah, somebody made some work to make that item in the digital world, but at the end of the day, it's
easily duplicated.
Yeah, it's ones and zeros. It's not a physical thing backing that. There's no real value to it, other than the value that we ascribe to it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my point: is if legislation catches up before the metaverse takes off on the microtransaction world, who knows how restrictive they are on it? But there are some people who seem to be very upset about about the free reign these companies have got to just manipulate children into dropping a ton of money in this game and getting addicted to just buying useless stuff. Who knows how far they could get in legislating it?
Nobody's allowed to get addicted to anything until they're 18. Then they can get addicted to whatever they want.
Get super addicted to anything except cigarettes. But you can do vapes.
If you're a kid, you can do vapes.
So if that legislation gets restrictive, it could really, really hurt the viability of the metaverse taking off, which is interesting to me. But
what are we going to sell in the metaverse, you and I?
Well, probably opportunities to live. Well, actually, here's what we will do. We'll do opportunities to wander around out front.
We need 20 of you to show up to the Bank of America.
Bank of Meta.
Bank of a Metaverse.
Bank of a Meta. And you guys will just wander around in your gardener gear.
And then someone is going to pepper spray the guard.
And then one of you is going to get scared by the Burger King. You can pay us $50 to do it.
I'm the Burger King.
Is that the Burger King riding a Sea-Doo up to Bank of America?
No, it's a tiny motorcycle. Why was he on pocket bikes? Whatever.
Because it's funny.
What were the other mascots? I can't think of a single Burger King mascot other than that creepy king.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like McDonald's did the time to create their characters. Like, remember the 90s, all their VHS tapes with the shows?
I do remember those.
They were very good. Burger King did not take the time to do that with anybody other than the king. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if
Have you seen the commercial where the king serves food out of the drive-thru? I would drive off so fast, dude. If I pull up the drive-thru and like here comes the king. And I'm like, bro, first of all, I heard that your son spent too much on Clash of Clans. The Burger King's son is just dropping cash.
All right, check this out. So there was just a motorcycle lady.
I want to see it.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me.
Can you drop it up on the screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
We could do this later, actually. This is
Oh, okay. Well, here we are.
It's later.
It's happening. So there was the
yeah, there was that lady. She was on the cover for some reason.
Yeah, she was on the cover. We also had
look how dumb they look on the bike.
The Hamburglar.
That's right. I do remember that. I wanted to be the hamburger guy.
Yeah. He's not the hamburger.
Yeah, he's dressed as a hamburger.
Hamburger.
There's a chicken.
There was a chicken. Yep, there's the chicken right
there. Do you remember
that? Let's see. What else we got in here?
Man, this is straight up my childhood right now. I loved this game.
Bumping. It's like bumper cars. It might have just been bumper cars, honestly.
That's fun. Gosh, can we find these somewhere?
I'm sure we could. Yeah,
there's someone selling an entire stack of them.
Sneak King?
No, I don't remember that one. I only had Pocket Racer.
It's a classic games. Yeah, so these games were awesome.
This is a GIF. Oh no, that's terrifying. Look at his hands. Look at his little hands. See, I don't like that. See, and they were like, this is a big branding problem. All right, because they were just like, here we go, and he's just.
They were like, let's make him as creepy as we can.
That's exactly. Look, and then Anthony is in that one. Look, Gardner.
Oh,
in the background. That's wild.
Yeah,
so
great game.
Anyway, We got to come up with some microtransactions.
Yeah, we do for the metaverse when it comes out. We can sell fiddles in the metaverse.
Fiddle off.